right, everybody. Welcome back. Big Time Auto Racing episode 46. And the final episode of the 2025 Cars Tour season after crowning a champion at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Landon Lewis prevails, wins the championship. Pretty exciting race, not without its drama during, before, and after. Actually, before, they was fighting in the pits during practice, running into each other. So there's plenty of excitement, plenty of stuff to talk about. Landon Lewis won a championship, big damn surprise. Nobody's too surprised there. But obviously well-deserved, well-earned. I think it would have been a shock had Connor Hall upset him. But Connor made it exciting. He jacked him up a couple times and definitely had people on the edge of their seats. So we are going to get into the full recap of the race, obviously. But some other news that came out, obviously, the whole new schedule for next year's out. And then had some tire drama, some tires blowing up and blistering during the race. There was some, plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. But I'm about out of breath. So, Brandon, how you feeling, buddy? You've had a long, hard-fought season. It's finally over. Had some good runs, had some bad runs, tough runs, whatever. But nonetheless, here you are, man. Survived another one and looked pretty damn good there towards the end.
Yeah, it's always bittersweet, right? Because I feel like you either end your season with a bad race and or a bad Cars Tour race, and that leaves you kind of bummed, or you've had a late season stride where you've strung together some races, and obviously everybody knows in racing momentum's huge. It's huge for just overall results as well as confidence, and confidence is key in anything, but especially in racing. And for myself, it's always also a time where tour season ends, and then it's kind of that continuation of what we all refer to as big race season. I of course still have the South Carolina 400 at Florence here in about 3 weeks or so, but it's a nice pause because you get some time to catch your breath, and I feel like it's that perfect gap of time where you get to kind of push the brakes a little bit, take a reset, and right when you have that, it's that week where the itch comes back, and it's race week. So that's always nice about how when the Cars Tour schedule or season ends. And now under the new ownership group, I personally like that we get to schedule earlier. Used to be you would probably still not have it till the banquet, which is about 2 weeks
Sometimes even later than that, it seemed like.
Yeah, literally.
There was a lot of TBAs on there up until day of the race.
Yeah, for sure. So
it's came a long way.
It's nice that here we are, 2 weeks removed, or not even quite 2 weeks removed, 10 days probably removed, and we've got the schedule. So excited about it. I know we're going to dive into it here, but man, it was a long year. Had some great runs, had some bad luck, but was able to go back to Martinsville, and everybody knows all the calamity and luck and misfortune that comes with that event. So I've been on all sides of it. It was nice to go down there and make the race again, and we didn't luck into it. We had speed right off the truck, had speed all the way through practice, and unfortunately was a bystander in the race of hard racing, got turned around and kind of ruined our night. But was a big goal and nice achievement to go back down there and do that, and then went to Tri-County a couple weeks later and got a Cars Pro Top 5 again, which is hard to come by. So definitely some positives to look at. I'm always one to say that all of us were always going to lose more races than we win, but there's still other victories that come besides actually parking in a victory lane. Obviously, that's your overall end goal for all of us, but in racing, I think you have to be mindful and stay aware and kind of stagnate yourself at what you have accomplished, and not to let those fall short. Right. Because I think it's important to grow on it, for the next year or the next race. So, I was, I would say a subpar year for us. Cause like I said, on one hand, we had a ton of speed. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but a lot of the results of where we actually finished for anybody that watched is not where we were running at, for the majority of the race. It's just, bad luck or late race issue or blow a tire, whatever. It seemed like about anything and everything happened, but that's part of it. What you decide to do with it and how you decide to get back up for the next week is ultimately what is up to you for what you make out of it. So blessed to still do this, blessed to still get to drive on the hardest, most competitive tour in the country. And, pretty fortunate that for you and I, at least, we can be biased, but a lot of these tracks are close to home or even in our backyard. So that's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, these seasons are long, and it takes a grind to get through all the races. I mean, just to make them all, and show up and even compete is a hell of a commitment. I mean, I tried it myself a couple of years ago and didn't even technically complete it. I mean, it's just that hard, right? I mean, so it's never to be taken lightly. It's a tough series to run, and like you said, even those times where little things go wrong there at the end. 6, 7 years ago, you'd still finish top 10, right? But now you have a little issue late in the race. Man, damn, that's the difference in 8th and 25th, right? Like there's that many cars out there. There's that many people that's competitive. So, and I learned that firsthand. Obviously, this past week, I forgot I raced too. I raced at Wilkesboro. We had some motor troubles. Could not figure it out. I finished 26th, so didn't really race. Kind of just rode around in the back. I mean, knew something was off from the get-go. Still haven't necessarily figured that out. So we're dialing. We're trying to look through that. We're just going to go make some laps and figure it out as we go and see if it's good or not. But we'll get more into that. But I was just kind of looking at the old stat sheet. I was going to say the only thing that really came out of Wilkesboro for me this time was I'm now on Wikipedia. Before this race, did not have a Wikipedia page. Afterwards, I do have one now. Unfortunately, the only information on this Wikipedia page is it says, I am the first cousin of former NASCAR driver Dean Combs. Close. I'm the grandson, but, that's just crazy. It also says Wilson has competed in the Paramount Kia Big Ten Challenge and the Southeast Limited. I'm looking at Wikipedia nowadays since we lost our dear old friend, Cars Tour Digest, that was the best part about the Cars Tour stats stuff. I just go through that now. Just something about Wikipedia don't feel the same. I mean, it feels more professional. I get it, but I'm a stat nerd, so I'm just sitting here looking at stuff. Being that it is the end of the season, we're going to go through kind of some, I guess everything for the most part. But before we get into the whole season recap and kind of our favorite moments and all that good stuff, obviously Brendan's going to have a lot more to talk about than me. I only raced 3 times this year, but was a hell of a little race between Carson Quaffle and Landon S. Or not Carson Quaffle. Damn it, I already screwed it up. Caden Quaffle and Landon S. Huffman. Now, Landon S. Huffman, obviously, and there was a lot that happened before that during this race, but I'm just kind of talking about the race for the win up front. I mean, we can kind of get into the details of Connor and Landon's battle, but I just wanted to really talk about Landon S. Huffman's battle with Caden because that was pretty damn good there at the end. I mean, I'm sure that's kind of what everybody's seen on TV or whatever. So, man, any thoughts on the move that Caden pulled off there? Were you okay with it? Do you think it was a little heavy on the? I mean, I guess in that scenario, you see that and you're like, that's what you have to do to win it. But also, anybody can do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like anybody can overdrive the corner and beat him there. So it's just,
yeah.
How do you really want to do it? It's up to you. Now he won the damn thing, and I think it was fine. But just it's up to everybody's discretion. How do you feel about it?
I think, and me and you being friends and being podcasters and fans of the sport and obviously competitors in it, there's so much to break down here. So I'll try not to get so long-winded. But for me,
it's the last episode of the year. We can get long-winded tonight.
Well, so, I think the first thing that comes to mind was it aggressive? Hell yeah. Did I think it was overly aggressive? No. Did he do what I think he had to do to make that pass? Yes.
Especially
Do
with
I
how
think
good Landon S is on the top.
yeah. Do I think he needed to carry him maybe that last quarter lane up? Probably not. But in that scenario, I'm sure his spotter was telling him, and he knew that that's what he needed to do to clear him. Anybody that watched, I mean, hell, he had tried it probably, I mean, I'm going to be over dramatic here, but a million freaking times prior to that.
Yeah.
And Landon was giving him a lane. Carson was holding him tight. They both were doing what they needed to do.
Good racing.
I think,
Those two guys race each other respectful. I mean, aggressive, but respectful.
Yeah. I think you heard, and I probably should have went back and watched it, but I know I heard him say this. I know Landon S. said he wished maybe he would have approached turn 3 a little differently on the last lap. As far as like take the bottom away or take the mid, basically the way I took that is he was saying make him make the decision to wreck him.
Yeah.
If that's what he chose to do, or give him a shot. Obviously, once I did it again. There's one thing we shouldn't beat ourselves too much up about where we're leading to here, folks. Both the damn Quapples have rode the lift now, so congratulations to both of them.
That's what my notes say. It's literally another Quapple rides a lift, and their name starts with a C. We're going to screw this up at some point. Sorry to the Quaffle boys. We respect the shit out of y'all. We don't screw your names up every now and then.
Yeah. Caden was, once he got inside of him, he then, in my opinion, kind of became the dictator of the whole situation because obviously we all knew how that sealer patch was down there.
Yeah.
And how treacherous it was for everybody. You could even see both of those two throughout the course of the race and even the closing laps.
I call that Mount Hoosier.
Yeah, it is it's a bear. But, he was definitely going to be able to put himself where he could take up as much racetrack as he wanted.
Right.
Because he was far enough alongside where he was going to be able to dictate the corner, and that's exactly what he did. For Landon S., obviously it sucked because he led pretty much the whole damn race and had a hell of a race, qualified on the pole, and it was no fluke. But no different, not taking anything away from Landon S., depending on what you hear or what you think or anybody that's followed the season, there's maybe some truth to that was an end result that's going to lead to some more races for Caden for 2026.
Right.
So if he doesn't do what he needs to do there, whether somebody likes it, doesn't like it, over aggressive, the right amount, he was probably doing in his mind what he needed to do to prove that he either deserves or is valid for however many races he's being told he gets to run next year, or potentially maybe a full-time effort. We don't know. Obviously, doing that probably puts that in the conversation, I would argue to say. So, for fans and for people, would you have liked to seen him drag race it back to the line? Hell yeah, probably so. But I thought for how gripped up that is, how fast we're going there, it was just two guys that had pretty equal cars that whoever could use all the racetrack was going to come out of that corner the best. And once Quapple got even with him, I feel like any of us would have done the same thing. I mean, I can tell you right now I would have. I mean, I don't ever want to run somebody completely out of the groove where it's just like, oh, they had to fucking lift because otherwise they're going to knock the fence down. But I'm damn sure going to use as much racetrack as I want.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere for a car store win, but it's kind of another step up when it's talking about riding the lift at Wilkesboro. Again, not saying wreck them. I'm totally against that. But,
well, for the lift at Wilkesboro, catch fence them. Fuck it. No big ones. That was good. Good on us. Shout out the car store guys. Now, there wasn't as many cars. Now, if there was 34 cars, believe me, we would have been in the grandstands. Okay? I know how this goes. But shout out us for not absolutely fencing 30 of them lap one.
Yeah.
That was nice. Especially for me, because I'm in every time they wreck, I'm in every one of them. And I'll take that on the chin. That's on me. Working on that. Anyways, no big ones, so Dylon survived for a while until his motor sucked. Car count, I think, what do we have, 28?
Yeah, it was 28, 29, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, which is, obviously a full field. One, there could be a few people out there that might have expected, more than that, but I just think that it's just like we've kind of harped on this before. Unless it's gonna pay $50,000 to win or something, you're just not gonna see a lot of guys that are used to running quarter mile, half mile racetracks locally show up to run a North Wilkesboro against the Cars Tour on championship night. You're racing against the best of the best, and you've already spent your whole year, spent all your budget.
Right.
You probably already ran Martinsville at this point. Not to mention you've got Junior Motorsports versus Kevin Harvick racing for the championship. I mean, what are your odds at if you're kind of a low tier guy or whatever? I mean, I'm one of those guys. Like I know what my shot is or whatever, but it's just I mean, that's the reason you're probably not seeing 40, 45, just to be bluntly honest.
I agree with that. I mean, I think you touched on everything. I think, you're looking at guys knowing that with it being Cars Tour Championship night and with it being Wilkesboro, that all of us are, trying to bring our best piece. And then also, too, like you said, if you're one of those guys, some of them, not all of them, some of them are either done for the year, already starting to take cars apart, do, yearly off-season maintenance.
You'll have your random guys that show up or whatever, like the guy that wrecked the fuck out of Blaine. But I mean, like 28 versus 34. And it's not like you're always going to have just, random fucking people from, I mean, there was also like RNS didn't have many cars showing up. And then there was, just a few here and there that you would typically expect at a race like this that wasn't there. I mean, like winners throughout this year that was like Jared Fryer. I mean, that's a guy that would you'd expect to be there, right? Or maybe not. I maybe didn't expect him to be there, but some fans probably did, right? Because being that he just won a couple races ago or whatever. So I think that's one of those. But like I said,
it's funny you say that because I was walking through the tire area, which is like right there in the center of the bottom, what we call the bottom garage area, like towards the bathroom concession stand right there at the lift, and I saw Mark, Jared's dad, and I said, "Oh, good luck to y'all." And he goes, "Oh, I'm here helping a pro. Jared's not racing." And I stopped and went back and shook his hand. I said, "Well, good luck with that, but good for us." And I laughed. Because,
yeah, no doubt. Thank God. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think the car count was bad or anything by no means. I'm just saying, like, there's been times where there's been 35 or whatever, and you're expecting some cars to go home, and now you're seeing about 28 or so. And I think that's just kind of a result of people kind of understanding, like, what you're up against in the Cars Tour. Not saying that you can't take a local car to go run the tour. I mean, that's kind of the point behind it, is being able to, the accessibility to be able to run in this series, and anybody should be able to do so. But it's just understanding what your race car is built for and your budget and stuff, and knowing that taking it to a track like that takes a full effort and a full team, and you got to have a lot of guys doing your tires and all that. So it's just going to be a little bit different scenario than showing up to run a 50K race at Hickory or something like that. I mean, then you have a little more incentive to do that at this point. I think quite a few people have probably ran Wilkesboro at this point, or knocked that, got that bucket list item checked off or whatever. So you're not going to see as many guys just showing up just to say they did it. So, and that, going forward, and when you look at the schedule, we'll talk about later, there's one Wilkesboro date now. And I think in an earlier podcast, we even predicted that. We've seen that happening. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's okay. I don't think you want to oversaturate Wilkesboro. I think that being a marquee event should be a one-time thing.
Marquee. Yeah.
A lot of people's asked me today, like, how do you feel about that, man? Are they already going away from it? I'm like, no. They're trying to keep it exciting. If you race here damn 6 times a year, ain't nobody gonna give a shit about it anymore. We race here twice. I'm not saying twice is just an absurd amount, but I'm just saying it's okay to go back a little bit. If we go to 0, then I raise hell. Immortal hell's raised by me if we go to 0 points. Then we just went back on everything we said from the get-go. If we go away from Wilkesboro completely, then everything's a lie. But aside from that, everything's fine. We'll touch more on that, but it is the car count, 28 cars, that's a full damn field, plenty of cars, and there was plenty of good racing, even in the back. We was racing like hell in the back, too. I've seen it firsthand. So Nothing wrong with
I
that.
do hope that this allows, and me and you may have talked about it on the last podcast, but I know we talked about it just sitting around bench racing. But I hope this potentially allows, and no, I know that means that it may not be this year, but that this opens up the conversation, and I hope, pretty intense, serious conversation for Wilkesboro to. I'm not even saying on the same weekend because we know how long the smart mod race was for our race. Good God. But
Yeah.
still, like there was some badass racing going on. So like I think the modifieds do need to be there and all that stuff. But I hope this allows whenever throughout the year for Wilkesboro to be able to host, say, a big late model race. Just a marquee, their own, NASCAR rules or whatever late model race.
Yeah.
Because the location's great. It's just sitting there. So yeah, it's awesome and big that Cup weekend. But like I saw already, the Wheeling Modified Tour came out, and those guys are not back on the schedule at Wilkesboro next year. Obviously now you take us away for one race. And so, yes, it's still a big deal for us to be racing when we're racing, and racing at Wilkesboro is great, period. So I'm very thankful for that. But I'm just saying it would be cool. South Boston has their big race. Langley has their big race. Martinsville does a big late mile race. It would be cool to see Wilkesboro, however or whoever puts the minds together to do it, where they come up with some kind of a crown jewel race or what can become a crown jewel race after a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah. If they can do that at Martinsville, they can do it at Wilkesboro. For sure.
Right.
It's the same same people. Like it's not that, wouldn't be that hard to, I think, traverse back, getting the equipment and everything that they would need and the people. But it's just like I agree. I think we say the same thing when we did a podcast not long ago talking about what the schedule could look like. And I think we said like, yeah, it'd be cool. If it did go to one race, I would expect to see some type of regional sanctioned NASCAR event, put on there, whether it's, obviously, hopefully it's late model. I think that's where we brought up, like, man, maybe they ought to run 4-cylinders again. No, I think it's going to have to wear out a little bit more before we do that. But, nonetheless, something, yeah. late models, limiteds, or something. I'm not going to sit there and say what's safe and what's not safe. Obviously, it's a big racetrack, it's very fast, but it does have safer barriers. And they've made a lot of upgrades to it. So anybody can show up to Martinsville, and it's probably the same result if you absolutely blow a corner there than if you do at Wilkesboro. So I don't, that's kind of the way I see it. Obviously, I guess there's probably a little more room for error to catch your car at Martinsville. Like Wilkesboro, you drive in there, you figure out where you need to go in at for the first time all day, and then all of a sudden you drive in a couple car lengths too deep. There's a couple times I was like, ugh, okay, we're good, but
yeah,
that's just part of it. So yeah, I agree, man. That'd be cool. What do you guys think? Listen, do you think Wilkesboro, if, obviously it's going to one event in the Cars Tour now, so do you think they need to be on their damn giddy up, getting after it and going for a race this year? Should there be a big, $50,000 to win Moonshine Steel Trophy NASCAR Vintage Championship race? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe, so like I will say this, to speak a little more on that. This past weekend, driving back home from deer camp Saturday at about 2 p.m., hungover as a son of a bitch with no deer in my back of my truck, I passed by the Wilkesboro Speedway and saw it was packed, and that was all because of a car show. Like maybe we integrate that weekend with racing. Like people love car shows, right? And going to be a lot of people show up for them, and I don't know if that fan base necessarily translates to a local short track race, but there's got to be a way. As big as that racetrack is and that area around there and all the stuff that you could do there, I just feel like there's got to be some kind of opportunity to maybe, maybe there still is some kind of big time October race at North Wilkesboro at the same time as that, same time as the car show, or maybe they work together to some degree, because just having all those people around, or maybe the fair or something like that. I don't know. Just trying to throw out some ideas to maybe help them out later in the season, because obviously July is going to be unreal.
Yeah.
The damn a points race, midsummer. Going to be hot as hell. Going to be fun, the whole deal. But probably going to be on TV. I get that's going to be awesome. But I mean, that's literally 4 or 5 days. We still got 360 days of that year to do stuff at the racetrack.
Right.
Not counting winter, or maybe 200 or whatever. But like, nonetheless, plenty of time to do stuff. So, yeah, hopefully they don't just let it. They need to utilize it as much as they can. I think they are. It's just hopefully they don't shy away from actually racing. Just like you said. So let's we've kind of covered that side of things, and we'll kind of talk about some of the issues with the tires during our recaps. But man, let's just kind of go through your race weekend, like how to obviously this was a big race for you. Crossroads being the title sponsor of the race, so you wanted to put on pretty good. We had an event Thursday night and stuff, so let's just kind of go through that, and then mine's short, so I'll go through mine after you. But you go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, it was great. 3 days, 4 days. Appreciate you and fellow competitor Chad McCumbee for coming out to Crossroads right there off 421 in Wilkesboro, and we had a nice event on Thursday. Everybody got to have a great time. All the team guys come up there and kind of go for a tour and see some badass Harleys, and we were able to have two bros out there with Seth's new beer tap trailer that you recently wrapped.
Yep, beer on the go.
Badass. Yeah, badass little unit. So, and obviously Carson and Logan came up from the tour and set up some stuff and gave out some stuff. So it was really cool to see everybody, pitch in and come out there. And it was a tough time of day being middle of the work day, but, was trying to kind of adhere and compensate for the teams too, because that was load in evening for us. So, but couldn't ask for better weather. Sun was out, upper 60s, low 70s. I mean, it was a beautiful day, and was able to sign some autographs for some people and have people come in and buy some T-shirts and look at some Harleys and get some parts and stuff. So that kind of kicked everything off, and then Friday rolled around, and that was definitely of the weekend the most hectic day, right, for all of us, because that was when practice and qualifying was, along with all the divisions, us, the pros, and the smart mods. And obviously with Crossroads sponsoring the race, we were hoping for pretty good weekend, especially after how we ran in May. In May we had brought a new car. Those were the first laps on it, and knew that was kind of a bold move, but worked out for us. I mean, qualified terrible, but I mean, in the race we were really, really good, and kind of just ran out of laps, stalled out there going forward, but still had a really good night. And obviously was pretty optimistic going into this weekend, and we just struggled really right off the truck. Kind of knew we were in trouble. Threw some stuff at it, got it better. And before we went to tires in the second session there to make our mock run, we kind of, I wouldn't say like felt great about it, but felt good about it. Felt like I said, that we were definitely going in the right direction. And obviously, like any of us, when you go to put tires on, think, okay, yeah, this is, we'll see what we got here and be right where we need to be. And unfortunately, even with that, just wasn't a bad lap, but knew we were lacking that top 8, top 10 speed. We were about a tenth and a half off, and unfortunately that carried over right into qualifying. Just didn't have what we needed. Just was missing that little bit on, perfecting the balance and having what we needed under us to really put down a good lap. And I think we ended up 22nd, and like a tenth off of 10th. But me and you talk about it every week. That's what it is in car short racing. It's trying to be on the right side of the 10th, and when you're not, it's pretty brutal. And when you are, you kind of take a breath and like, whew, all right, the right side of the 10th was kind to us this week. So, obviously knew that kind of was going to set us for not a great starting spot in the race, but obviously, again, kind of how May went and with how Wilkesboro is, get in the race and do everything. Obviously we qualified in the evening, but Saturday was a different day and a little bit warmer, but also different rubber on there. And we fired off, and we passed like 7 cars there before the first caution. So I was like, damn, we're going to be pretty good. And I should have never thought that because I shot myself right in the foot. Right after that, we fired back off, and just the balance just continued to swing on us from heat cycle to heat cycle for the rest of the night. And then, like I know you're going to touch on, and we're going to touch on for not just ourselves. I mean, literally, I haven't talked to a competitor yet that didn't fight this with either their starting set or their change tires at lap 65. But we come in, made some adjustments, put on 2 right sides, and thought, okay, this will wake this thing up. And we probably would have been better off, even though I don't know if they would have lasted till lap 125, but leaving the first set on because we immediately were just all over the place. I think we pitted twice that last after the halfway break and come back in after the race was over, and both right sides were blistered. So long night. Ended up 19th, so definitely not what we wanted. Went a lap down, battled back, got the lucky dog. I mean, we continued to fight all night, which we're always going to, but definitely was a disappointing result. I mean, we just didn't have, which me and you talked about. I mean, really nobody had anything for Landon S. and Caden, but we just didn't. We didn't have what we needed to run with that front 7 to 10 cars. I mean, we were a 14th to 20th place car all night, and we ended up on the back half of that. So disappointing, but like you said, kudos to all of us for not having any big ones like we have had in the past. And car was able to be loaded up in one piece, go back to shop and work on her and get ready for the last one of the year.
Yeah, not a lot of tore up shit. I mean, Ronnie got the bad end of a tire going down.
Yeah, that was bad.
Blaine got wrecked and tore up pretty good. And outside of that, nothing. I don't really know of any other wrecks. I mean, Landon got wrecked, but he didn't get tore up. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any body work laying on the track or anything like that. So that's good for Wilkesboro and in our history known there for sure. So, yeah, my weekend was, we got to go to the test. So the test, like I said, I don't guess we did an episode since then, but the test went pretty good for us. That was my first time in a car since the earlier race at North Wilkesboro, in the MKM car that I had ran earlier this year. When was that? April? May?
Wake.
No, the first Wilkesboro race this year. When was that? April?
Oh, I'm sorry, May.
May, yeah, that's right. So May, yeah, that's the last time I ran a race. I have tested a couple times since then at Hickory and stuff like that, but nothing like Wilkesboro. So, just kind of knocked the rust off on test day and felt like we were okay. Time wise, we were a couple tenths off of the really, really good guys like Landon Lewis and them, and so I felt like that was probably a pretty good spot to be in. Like, I knew we weren't gonna be as quick as them, but somewhere in the ballpark was okay. And we took that, changed the gear, and that was pretty much it. And then we went to practice day next Friday, and immediately, second lap of practice, blew the fucking clutch out. Just like every other time at Wilkesboro, something goes terribly wrong immediately. So we blew the clutch out, and I mean, just, I literally off of 4, I think on my third lap of practice, I hit the chip. I'm like, well, damn. I either had the greatest lap of all time or I just blew a clutch out because I just hit the chip on exit, boys. So coming to you. So I didn't get to first practice because we were ripping the clutch out. Not to mention, this was not ideal because this was obviously, I had a teammate there, Blaine Harrison, who we have just got a car together for him. It's been kind of a scramble to get everything together, obviously, like it always is, but wouldn't have it any other way. But we just kind of, we had our back against the wall for sure to even get things like done in time. I didn't really have what we needed to make it work, but we did, and we were able to, because we basically had to use practice day as the day to build Blaine's car because he didn't get to test the car that he raced the week before. So it was a bit of a dash for us. So nonetheless, blowing a clutch out immediately was very, very shitty for me. So I just kind of went into help mode, tried to help as much as I could on getting that done. I mean, there's really only so much I can do at that point because, like, I'm just in the way for Ty and them because they're they're going to be fast with that. So I just kind of diverted my attention over to Blaine, started helping with his GoPro and stuff like that, and tried to just basically vicariously drive through him and use his car as like my feedback and be like, this is what I think his car is doing, so I think this is what I can make mine do. I got my car, second practice, we kind of got it back together. I think we mocked up after I ran a few to make sure the clutch was good. I mean, it obviously wasn't very quick or anything, but thought we were in a position where I could probably qualify at least in the 17s. Like, I want to run like a 90 flat, something like that. Went out for qualifying, and I don't think I got my fronts heated up good enough, honestly. I just had a lot of, had no front grip going through 3 and 4. I mean, usually years past, I'd really get after it. I'm always kind of a pretty aggressive leaver, John Force guy, leaving pit road for qualifying, and the last couple of years have been kind of talked off the ledge of doing that just to try to save my lap, not hurt the tires too much with these high grip racetracks. And I thought maybe that's what I was, because years past, driving on old worn out tracks, just wearing my shit out off the get-go, getting them hot has always helped me out. Well, on these new dripped up tracks, I just can't figure it out. So I've didn't get my fronts heated up enough this time, whereas last time I think I did it too much. But anyways, got them heated up, or didn't get them heated up, went into one, which is, lap one is kind of your money lap, and I just had no front grip, had to jump on the brakes. So the first lap was kind of shitty. I think I ran a 30. Second lap felt really good, but I ran a 20. So the reason I bring that up is because I'm not sure if we were having engine troubles at this point or not. I just know my first lap was shit either way. So I don't know at this point. I just know once the green flag, well, actually before the green flag dropped, coming to grid, I ran over Mount Hoosier. And, man, I got a low sitting race car. We run that sumbitch low. And, by God, I didn't know that there was a mountain of tire rubber left over and Alpha 4. Nor did I hear it. But all I know is when I gridded my car and they basically said, driver, start your engine, Dad said, what the fuck did you hit? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't hit nothing. What are you talking about? He's like, your whole damn nose is folded under your ductwork. I'm like, God damn. So I don't know if anybody's seen it on the broadcast, but I just backed up to get out of the, because I was going to try to hit it and pull it out, get it flattened back up. Well, and we communicated, I think, with Thomas Bean, his spotter and everything, to get so I could back up and fix the damn nose. Because we didn't qualify last, we just obviously didn't have the lap I wanted, but still yet. Knew something was off there. Well, body work not great. Motor didn't seem like an issue at this point, so we just go in, fix the nose. I'm like, I'll start in the rear anyway and avoid these wrecks. I'm just going to chill this first 20, 40 laps anyway. Screw it. They're going to wreck like hell. Well, nobody wrecked. And I was like, well, shit. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to push it a little bit. And if I can go up here and I'll race with Thomas Bean and some of these guys that are kind of probably doing the same thing I'm doing, chilling, waiting for some wrecks, just to see if I'm faster than them. Well, I start going 100% just for a lap or two, and they're still leaving me. I'm like, well, this is weird. Usually at this point, I can at least pass a few cars. And yeah, then that was the story the whole time. Literally had no power out of the hole. I'd get on the gas, and they would just leave me. I'm talking for 28th place, I'd get left on the bottom. They'd be on the bottom. I was on the top and couldn't carry any speed. So just tried to survive the first bit. We had one caution. Ronnie's tire went out, or blue tire. He hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then I think we came in, tried to see what was up, and all the plug wires were good and everything. Just didn't sound weird. Just was not. I was turning 400 RPM less than what chip I had in it. I'm sitting there keying up as I'm driving, like, man, this is where I'm hitting the gas at. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. It feels like I'm down a cylinder or something. But so we're not really sure. It was literally like I missed the gear by like 50 points, but it wasn't the case. It was just, that's how it felt. So I don't know exactly where it's at right now. We don't know what the issue is. I don't really have the capability to just go get it dynoed immediately after. We're just going to take it to Hickory and go make some laps and figure out if, what the deal is. And if it feels really bad, then we'll know and switch it out. And There's no real major science experiment behind it. We're just trying to figure it out by trial and error. We're going to test it, and I don't know. I mean, it didn't blow up. It wasn't smoking. There wasn't no crazy noises. It just seemed like it had zero power. So I'm not real sure what the issue was. The gauges were blinking and doing some very weird stuff. Had some very odd water temp readings that literally freaked me out to a point where I was about to park it 30 laps before I did. To a point where it was like, all right, at this point, we're way off. It's not getting any better. We're just going to park it. So I parked it. I don't even know what lap I did, but it was about 30, 40 laps early. We had got lapped on the track before that. We was about to get lapped again after the halfway break, and we got tires and everything. And I just didn't want to put myself in that position to be out there getting lapped on championship night and cause any potential issues. I didn't want to blow a motor in front of the damn leaders for a championship or something like that. So that was more of my thinking. I mean, it was hard for me. Like, I hate quitting when there's not really a thing to quit over. Like, that's kind of how I felt. Like, I was like, God damn, I just felt like as I pulled in the pits, I'm like, this is shitty. It's still running. I don't know what I'm doing. But in retrospect, I think that was probably the right call because, I don't think there was anything to gain for me there. But just got to take it on the chin. That's part of it. I know that the handling was there. It was just something weird. I mean, I was really confident before the whole week leading up to the race after testing. It was definitely the best car I've had there. Now, I don't know if it was just because we were down on motor and I was able to carry a lot more into the corner. You know what I mean? I don't race enough right now to sit there and tell you, yep, I was definitely down about 10 horsepower. That's about how, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a big gauge to compare it off of. So that's kind of why I'm not able to, tell you exactly right now, but I think within the next few days, I'll know for sure what was up. I was kind of hoping to have an answer by now, but there's no obvious signs. So we're just going to have to go figure it out because it was definitely off. We did have a good, we had tidal diabetes and tandem diabetes came out to support, and obviously tandem came on board as a sponsor, and we brought out Nate and his family to hang out. He's a type 1 diabetic like me, and we were able to do a lot of cool stuff at the track. So the fact that the race sucked didn't really hurt the weekend too bad. I was able to spend a lot of good time with him, so that was definitely really neat. And used to I would take it a lot harder, when something like this would happen, but it's just one of those damn things. I'd rather be sitting here trying to figure out what's wrong with the motor than grenading in front of the field right before the championship came out. You know what I mean? It's just one of those risks that you got to take. And
right.
In that scenario, I just don't know if there was a lot for me to gain. I was on my own lap at that point, and as much as it sucks to pull it in early and call it a day, I mean, it just wasn't our day. I don't know. It just things just kind of went wrong for us, but we're going to try to get some redemption, obviously, before the end of the year, but we'll see how everything works out. Got to make sure the motor's good first, so that's the first plan. But, yeah, obviously not ideal, but, got my first top 10 of the new age Cars Tour, my whole Cars Tour career earlier this year with MKM, and then 19th at Wilkesboro the first time this year, and then this time 26th, so not ideal. I was trying to have another top 10 or something before the end of the year, but that just one of those things. Like I said, you ain't gonna can't win them all, that's for sure. And running a couple times a year, you're just bound to have some gremlins every now and then. It's hard to be perfect every damn time. I've harped on how hard it is to do anything off the couch like that. So I will say I was very confident in my abilities as a driver, and being able to translate just watching GoPro footage a lot this year and working with younger drivers and stuff, and being able to just get right back in it and be like, yeah, this feels I know exactly what the feeling is that I'm looking for and stuff that maybe before I'd spend the whole practice day searching for it and wouldn't really know until halfway through the race. Now I'm kind of at least know what I'm looking for a lot more than years past. So kind of making these random Wilkesboro starts easier. And with the schedule that's coming out next year, there's going to be probably some random races for me, I would say. And on the rare occasion that we are both racing on Cars Tour weekend, we obviously do the rating scale true to form. So let's start off with fun factor, Brandon. This year, North Wilkesboro, how fun was it to race? Did you pass? Was there a lot of strategy? How'd you feel about it?
I think the strategy was missing Mount Hoosier into 3.
Yeah. Don't hit Mountain
Um,
Hoosier.
yeah. Um,
And don't blister.
yeah. So, I mean, the battle for the lead was pretty cool. There was passing throughout the field. So, you know, trying to definitely not totally be biased off of my night or our nights because there was, some good battles and some good racing. I felt like there was more passing in May. Maybe I'm naive for thinking that, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's probably more fair for me to say that though because I was more in the thick of all that. Like
Had we went
you
green
pass
an
somebody.
hour earlier because the modifieds, though, maybe it is a little better, A little harder.
Yeah, that's fair to say too. So, you know what though, any lap at Wilkesboro in a race car is a great day. Um, I'm still very fortunate and glad that that place has been revived and in the current state that it's in, and obviously and hopefully for many years to come. So, um, I'm not gonna let one night dictate that. So I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of same. I would say the Hoosier scenario that's going on and kind of hurt the fun factor a little bit, I think, for a lot of people. So I would like to probably speak for some of the other guys in the field that had issues with tires and some, seen a lot of that. So I'm gonna give it a 7, with your 8 there. Track atmosphere though, fan turnout, events, promotions, and the trackside festivities. I thought was pretty solid. They had a good turnout. I mean, they had modified fans there too, so obviously, you're going to get a little bit of both sides of the fence when it comes to the autograph sessions and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. Have to say, I mean, there was a lot of something I feel like the car store probably misses out on is doing like race day programs and stuff similar to like Smart Tour does. I thought that was really cool. I think we've done it in years past and probably will continue to do that, but it's just like at big events like Wilkesboro and the throwback and the maybe the opening race and here and there, you maybe do an event deal that has all the drivers on it. Not necessarily because I think a lot of the car store guys are probably gonna have hero cards, but I do think as a kid I valued a poster with all the drivers on it probably more than a hero card, and get them all to sign it. I think that's cool. I like how I guess just getting reminded of that and seeing that was neat, but not necessarily that contributes to track atmosphere. But like I said, fan turnout was good. Events wise, I mean, there was some stuff going on. I mean, it ain't like All Star Week, so I mean, we're kind of got a little bit of a tough comparison whenever you're dealing with NASCAR All Star Week versus this week. This week's going to seem a little bit subdued. However, the cool part is it was mostly local brands, so the feel was a lot more like welcoming and didn't have to deal with feeling like the 15th fiddle like we did during the NASCAR weekend. You know what I mean? Kind of parking outside and that whole deal. I mean, having to work with it's cool. I did it. That's part of the deal. But I mean, it was nice to kind of be back among the premier divisions and that side of things, even with the lack of maybe fan turnout versus NASCAR weekend. So I think it made up for that. So that's why I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, no, trackside parking was fantastic. Autograph session was cool. Fan turnout I thought was good. Still saw a lot of local publicity,
Yeah.
And advertising for the event. Obviously we talked about the event that we did at Crossroads. So, for us, like you said, like All Star Week's cool and always will be, and obviously next year it's a points race, but still will kind of be the same scenario. But
It'll be the only
there's
one next year.
yeah, there's so many more people at that, and it's a lot more strict. And even like for our deal and what we do, like there's a lot, and that's cool and all right. but it's nice to have. That is one thing I'll miss, and obviously I don't think it's like forever gone, but like it's more of just a normal race weekend for us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got people all up and down the backstretch, like our camper, you know, was up there on the backstretch, and so like it just feels more like a regular event that's just at a badass racetrack. Um, that you get to kind of mingle around, I guess, more freely is what I'm trying to say. So I enjoy that side of it. Um, so yeah, I'll give it a 7 with you there as well. But I thought, you know, fan turnout was great. Trackside parking was packed. I mean, there wasn't any empty spots really.
Yeah.
You know, for what they have, and um, you know, thought all that was good. And like I said, the autograph session that they did over there in the what are they calling that building now? I'm gonna probably
I remember. If you want to ask, I'd have probably said it, but it's something along the lines of like I don't even know, like a heritage build. I don't even something.
yeah, an event hall or something.
Yeah, event hall. It's like basically just an area that you can set up anything in. Wedding venue, you know, it don't even matter.
Yeah, but had a really great turnout for that, so that was really cool.
Yeah, so pair of 7s on there. Facilities, so lighting, infrastructure, eye appeal, infield elbow room, spotter sand. Now, obviously, this is a cup track, and the only cup track that the Cars Tour goes to throughout the year, and you know, you see that it's very evident. The lighting's unreal. Although they didn't do any kind of crazy light shows this time. Did they didn't even do the yellow lights as caution lights, did they? Like
I don't know, bud.
you know, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think they did do that. Like they usually do some crazy LEDs on the bottom of the poles. I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, no dancing lights or anything going on this time. I feel like usually that's happening on All-Star Weekend stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. But obviously, top of the lines, everything's beautiful. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go with a 9 on this one.
Yeah, you know, like you said, so you know, everything's always painted. It's still very new. They're constantly always working on, um, like I'm pretty sure, at least to my knowledge, like for instance, where we did the autograph session, I know that building has been there, but I think they just kind of like
They
newly
just kind of gutted it.
refurb. Yeah, so that was cool. You know, like you said, the lighting is probably the best of anywhere we go, on the tour, for sure.
Not really many sun issues to deal with either, you know, throughout
No,
the day.
yeah.
Like I
So
was kind of worried about that, but
I'm right there with you. I mean, I think
wore my
9's
dark
very
visor
fair
in
on
the
that.
race.
Yeah,
Just I didn't know how it was gonna be, so I just wore. I mean, the Stilo ones ain't that dark anyway, so it didn't matter. But
yeah.
I did wear my dark one. But yeah, I would say definitely nicest light. What'd you end up with?
9.
9. Okay, yeah, pair of 9s. I was gonna say 10, and the only reason I didn't is because I don't remember seeing the yellow blinky lights. But then I was thinking, damn, I could have gave it a uptick because of they was running the Holly Farm sign. That was cool.
That was cool.
Didn't think they would really run that for our weekend, but they did. That was neat. Should have maybe bumped them up to a 10 for that. And then also the new autograph hall, whatever event hall, being able to use that as an autograph area, I would say get to a 10. Now here's where it doesn't get a 10. We had to walk all the way around the damn back side of the track to get there. Holy hell!
They didn't have
maybe opened a gate for us. I mean, there was nothing going on for that period of time. So yeah, that was a little annoying, but yeah, so you know, yeah, 9s are fine there. Bathrooms and concessions. So elbow room, cleanliness, the comfort, food quality, menu items. There was a food truck there. That was basically the only option inside the track. I did eat some chicken tenders, and they were $20 for a combo. That sucked. So yeah, obviously really expensive, and they weren't that good. So it is what it is there. Bathrooms are always good. I mean, it's a kind of top level facility for bathrooms. Waterless urinals, so you know, not a lot of stinky action going on. Quite a bit of air moving through there. However, it does get a bit stagnant in the summertime, but you know, you find yourself in there at the wrong time, you could potentially give yourself a nose missile of hell. But for the most part, if you hold your breath and get in and out, that's on you. Now, you got to do stuff, it's a good place to do stuff at. There's porta potties available kind of throughout the whole facility too, which is nice. Kind of gives you an area to, it's a big track, so you can't just expect everyone to go to the middle of the racetrack to go to the bathroom. It definitely gets a little crowded, so I have to take that into account. The high concession prices kind of sucked for us in the infield as drivers and stuff. However, on the outside, there was a lot of cool stuff going on. Like Two Bros had a beer trailer and stuff on race day. So bathrooms and concessions, I'm going to go, I would say 8, but I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, I was going to say 7 too, because obviously I did not eat the concessions. But $20 for chicken tender combo, and then the fact that you said it wasn't that good, that definitely does suck. So
yeah,
I'm sure they'll probably work on that, or hopefully so at least. But yeah, like you said, I like how, and they've always done that since we've been back racing there. I like how they have the Porta Johns spaced out, plenty of them.
yeah.
Like me and you, during the pro race, we walked down to 3 and 4 from the car store 1 and 2 garage. I mean, that's a decent little hike. And even to the center, I mean, the infield at Wilkesboro is pretty roomy. Yeah. So I think that's really nice that they do that, and gives you plenty of options. So yeah, I'm gonna go 7-2 because the concession situation knocks it down a little bit. But as far as cleanliness of the bathrooms and all that, I think they're pretty good.
It's kind of too bad. I mean, I guess there's no building for it, but it's too bad that Wilkesboro don't have a signature, kind of little lunch counter or whatever. But I guess there's just not enough racing going on there to really justify having a. But if you think about it, like the Martinsville hot dog stand, I mean, it's in business for like literally 4 weeks a year.
Right. And it's dead center of the infield.
Right. So like, I don't know if there's like really room to ever do something like that. Nor even if there was, if I would care. Like I said, I'm not really a big eater on race day. I don't think, not most people aren't. So yeah, it's not a huge deal for me either. But hopefully it'd be cool to see something, other than $10 or $20 chicken tenders. Surrounding area. So the food, nightlife, hotels, stuff to do. Surrounding area. Obviously this is 300 yards from my grandpa's house and, family land and go-kart track and all that. However, it was in October, so it's a lot more dwindled down and calm this time of year. I went home and stayed home every night and had the little no hangover for probably the first time ever in Wilkesboro history. So that was good on me, but it didn't really work out as far as on the racetrack. So I guess we'll just go back to getting hungover shit next year and seeing how that goes. So watch out in July. Whew, that's gonna be tough. But anyway, so like I said, like on the last episode, I was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna try something different, see how it goes. Didn't go well, and we're just gonna go right back to drinking beers, I guess. Not that was necessarily my plan. It's just kind of how things worked out. I was tired of shit. It was long work days and ready to go home and get some sleep. With that being said, there wasn't the typical shindigs for me going on, so that probably dwindles that side of things down. I feel like this rating has probably been usually a 10. So, yeah, and that was the only thing that really helped the score back in the day. So I'm gonna just go with a 6.
Yeah, I think I think that's fair. For me,
I want to say 3, but I'm gonna go 6.
Yeah, for me it was a 9. Just because one thing I've always wanted to do is be able to camp out and backstretch at a racetrack. Like a cool racetrack. So say like Martinsville or somewhere like that. But I had the opportunity at Wilkesboro to have a backstretch camping spot. And so had the RV or the camper up there right about at the commitment line of pit road into turn 3. So obviously, Friday morning was early morning for us. The wife had the coffee pot going, so it was cool. I got up about an hour before the garage area opened and had me a cup or two of coffee sitting out there in the lawn chair at the backside of the camper overlooking the sun coming up at Wilkesboro. That was pretty badass. So, brisk mornings, but neat. And then at night, had the solo stove going and grill out and cook some good food, and was able to see some people, and had some good customers over from the hardware store hanging out or actually camping right beside us, and just some good times. Real laid back and nothing wild, but just pretty chill, and just hanging out and had a couple drinks and just kind of took it all in. So, like I said, that was something to check off the list for me. Always wanting to camp out on the backstretch at a racetrack, and couldn't ask for better weather, especially for October. I mean, it was cold at night and in the mornings, but it wasn't unbearably cold yet. So I gave it a 9.
All right, 9. Let's do a little quick math for a final score. All right, after some quick math, a 7.5 for Wilkesboro in 2025. Well, October version of 2025. So, obviously, there's another race at Wilkesboro coming next year that's probably going to have a lot of eyeballs on it. That's going to be during the Cup Points race week, and I'm sure no announcements yet, but it seems like that would probably be on TV or something. I don't want to make any claims or whatever, but it kind of seems like that would be the thing. Yeah. Especially after how good last year went. So we will see how that goes. Kind of waiting on announcements, but let's move on to 2026 and the today the Cars Tour announced. Well, today, as in the day we're recording, they announced the new schedule. And quite a few surprises on the schedule, including 2 new racetracks in Newport and Nashville, both in Tennessee. Obviously, Nashville Fairgrounds, which we've talked about multiple times, and all that, and we'll kind of touch on that. And then the in the Newport, kind of the asphalt Bristol of the. Where is Newport at? Where is it even close to? Do you even know?
I'll be honest, I don't. Not on that one.
I think it's kind of close to Knoxville, if I'm not mistaken, and that's good. So we'll do a little more research on that, but it is in East Tennessee, and man, that's cool. Going to a new state, not once but twice. Not necessarily a new state, but a state we haven't been to in a few years, at least since the King Sport days. I would say you're probably thinking, God, we're going to 2 Tennessee tracks, and neither one of them are King Sport. Probably getting a little nervous when you see 2 Tennessee
I'm like,
tracks.
Oh boy,
yeah, a little bit of a weird one. But yeah, Nashville, man. Obviously, that's pretty early in the season, right? Fourth or fifth race of the year.
Yeah, it's the 4th race of the year.
Yeah, so I mean that's our. Well, let's start.
Good time of year though, April. So good time of year.
Let's start from scratch though. Starting a year off at New River again. Which has do what?
Said, we got another name change.
Oh yeah, that's right. Damn, what is the name of it now? I was back to Coastal Plains.
Yep.
That's what it should be. Coastal Plains to start the year off. Which has that been the last 2 years? This is the 3rd year in a row doing that, I think.
20.
Now, I know 2023 we raced there late in the year because I raced it that year. Now, 24, I'm not real positive. 25, I know, obviously, we started the year there. But I'm not real sure. Anyways, it has been on the schedule the last few years, nonetheless. And it's been worn out, or hell, the last 4 or 5 years at this point. It has been sold and kind of who bought it?
So I'm not sure if they bought it, but Steve Zacharias, his family, and Brian, they're running it. Yeah. Okay,
so I think Steve is involved with it a little more now, so that's good to see. Now they're doing it in February, which obviously earlier than we're used to. What's your thoughts on that, Brandon?
Well, like me and you talked on actually on our last episode, Dale had done an interview after the Florence Cars for race that he was wanting to and putting a lot of emphasis on maybe starting the season earlier and getting racing going in February. So this isn't a big shock, being that he kind of already put the feeler out there for it. But it is substantially earlier in the year than I say substantial. Like last year, I think we were there in March. So, a month earlier. Bottom line is, if I was a betting man, it's going to be pretty damn cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
So I will be glad to have a heater in, but inside that race car. That won't be too bad. But yeah, but hey, nonetheless, I'm all for a little bit of change, and if it gives us some more times with our families throughout the summer months to fit a few more vacations in and go do a little R&R, I'm all for it. So yeah, I mean, I like the racetrack, like the area. It's a nice facility, and I think it's a good one to kick off the year with.
Yeah, I'd agree. And then we go back to Southern National after a 2-year hiatus from the
Yeah, I
tour.
think so.
Southern National has been on the tour a few times, obviously, but and you're a previous winner there, so you're probably excited to see that track going back on the schedule, obviously. Even though it's
Just the old girl, every year she sits, she changes, that's for sure. So
yeah,
I already know that when I go back, probably going to go ahead and lift it about 2 car lengths earlier than when I last lifted there because
mhm.
that was still a little too deep. So, but I mean, I love the racetrack. Obviously, I'm biased because I do have my only car store win there in pretty thrilling fashion. But, I still think it's a cool racetrack, all that banking. It's kind of off by itself and, in a kind of country part of the state, but neat little area. I mean, there's not a whole lot around there. There is when you get up, back up the road a little bit, but it's just a neat racetrack. Some people hate it, but I like that it is a a wore out racetrack that has a pile of banking and can put on some good racing.
Yeah, and then right after that, up to Wake County, returning to Wake County, which is there's a month break in between Southern National and Wake County, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so do that little month break, which is nice. Obviously, we'll still be pretty cold Wake County in March, but it is towards the back half of March, so maybe it'll kind of warm up down there in Raleigh. A whole lot better than it being 110 degrees like it was at one time down there. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
it don't matter how cold it is at Wake County, you get no air there, and it's going to be hot in the race car. So learn that firsthand. So nonetheless, that'll be a badass little race. Obviously, with New River and Southern National starting the year off, it's kind of a little bit of a mix-up. I mean, and also at the same time, it's nothing too far out of the realm. Car stores getting kind of used to going to Wake County, even though it is a little bit of a wild card, a small little racetrack where, people are kind of getting their foot in there and starting to. No, it's not a total shit show. I think every time we go there, people just think it's going to be this crazy shit show bull ring race, and it's just really always it's a pretty good race, or a pretty clean race. I say that, and we'll probably have 40 cautions next year. And after Wake County, we head to the polar opposite. Go to Nashville Fairgrounds for the first time ever in the car. That would be the first time late model stock cars have been in Nashville probably since the 90s, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe early 2000s or something, but I'd imagine probably the 90s. And that's really cool. And obviously a very different track. My dad raced dash cars there, so he's got a pretty good feel for that racetrack, but I've obviously never seen the place. I've been to Nashville, but never seen the racetrack. So fun as shit on iRacing. I'm sure it's very fun in real life too. So obviously put on a lot of good super late model races with the All American 400 all these years. Watched plenty of those, and watched some other races there that I can remember from the past. In the Busch Series days when they ran there, back in the early 2000s they ran there or something.
I think so.
I remember some races there. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like they ran some there too. So, anyways, Nashville Fairgrounds, a badass racetrack, and obviously a really cool new place, demographic or whatever you want to call it for the tour to explore to or expand to. It'll be a bit of an interesting night. I mean, that is also the same night that Supercross is in town and racing.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet about that today. So
it is literally the same night that Monster Energy Supercross is racing in Nashville. So I don't know what that will entail of. I don't think there's a lot of crossover between fans there, but I do know that there's probably a lot of action sports interested people that would probably choose a dirt bike race over a random race at the fairgrounds.
Well, one thing that tells me for sure is after both, downtown's going to be popping.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be busy for sure. But yeah, so we'll just kind of see how that plays out. That's the only thing that's kind of like, they're probably up against. Outside of that, I do think it's obviously going to a new track is cool, but that's not the only time we go to a new track in Tennessee this year. And that's, we go to Newport later in the year. But what's after Nashville, Brandon?
We go to your favorite racetrack, Caraway Speedway.
Oh yeah, Caraway. That's kind of early in the year for Caraway. Is that a Wednesday race again, or no?
No, it is not. So I will say this: I feel like Caraway in April will be a lot more tolerable, possibly enjoyable, than Caraway in July.
Yeah.
For a couple of different reasons. So, yeah, we go to Caraway, and then we will kick off one of our 2 races the month of May when we head on down to Altamahaw, North Carolina, and we will revisit the Ace Speedway, which always has a good or puts on a great race and normally has a fairly close finish or in the closing laps battle for the lead.
Yeah.
And then after that, we will go the complete opposite direction and head north to go to one of my favorite racetracks, and that'll be Langley Speedway.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Langley has, for the past couple years, been at times the closest, if not arguably always the closest, finishes or exciting finishes on the car store schedule.
And this has typically been the time of year they usually run there, right? Like they usually run that late May, but Wilkesboro kind of took that over.
Yeah. So, and then to end our Virginia stretch of races right after Langley, which is what we normally do, we will head to the good old fast Dominion Raceway up in Spotsylvania, Virginia.
And then right back to North Wilkesboro a month later. So a nice little month break in the early months of summer. So that'll be nice. June 13th is Dominion, then July 17th, North Wilkesboro, which will be Friday night, probably on TV. Who knows for sure right now. Then another almost month of break during the hot months of July to August 8th. We go to Hickory for the throwback race, I'd assume. I don't know.
So I'm sure you like that two back to back in the old backyard. Ain't got to go far.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely don't have to go far there. Ben Anderson, August 22nd. That'll be another hot one. For sure. That'll be a hot race. So going back to Anderson, we kind of thought that would happen. We weren't too sure. I wouldn't say we thought that would happen. You welcomed the idea of it, but
I remember saying that I thought after the environment and the way, I felt like they would probably.
It was on the fence. It was one that was on the fence, and I'll share I had a predicted schedule that was kind of close. But anyway, then we go to Florence, September 4th, and then September 12th, Tri-County, which honestly I thought was going to be the championship race, so I was wrong there. And then October 3rd to Newport for the first race at Newport Speedway for the Cars Tour, so that'll be cool. New track, pretty crazy banking there, worn out surface, nice facility. A renovated facility that's becoming nice, I should say. But definitely on the mend. I think Kip went to a race last year and posted about it and stuff and was pretty excited about it. So
yeah,
we kind of knew that this was definitely on the radar, but didn't know for sure. So not too surprised to see Newport come on the schedule, but excited nonetheless. I mean, 2 races in Tennessee. I think it's a big deal, right? Like I think going to North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia is kind of important for the tour in general. So I think going to 2 this year is good because even if they can't continue to do both of them for years to come, I mean, at least they can have a year to get a baseline on them and which one they want to continue to go to or however it works out. So. And then right after that, a couple weeks later, they go to South Boston to finish the season off for the championship race. So championship race is now at South Boston. That has been a thing in the past, I think a couple of times, right?
It was until it went to Wilkesboro.
Okay.
As long as I've been doing it, at least.
Right. Okay. So lots of Well, no. That one year I ran it, it was the last race was at Caraway,
But yeah, you're right. I forgot about
which
that.
was really weird. I didn't even think about that. I think it was already locked up before that race, though, wasn't it?
Pretty close, yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, South Boston back as the championship track, which I think is very fair. Definitely one of the most well promoted racetracks out there. Nicest facilities out there. I would imagine October 17th would put it right in the realm of that fair happening too, huh? Or is that too? Nah, that's too late. Would be like September one.
Yeah, because when me and you ran it up there,
Yeah,
it was
I think you're right there. But nonetheless, championship night, South Boston. I think that's fitting. Uh, you know, I honestly think the racing is better at Tri County. Personally, I think the championship racing could potentially be better at Tri County just because of the width of the racetrack.
right.
I'm not saying South Boston can't put it on. It's just, man, it could just get real bad real fast at South Boston. You know what I mean? And not saying that's not what you want for a championship. It's just I kind of liked. I could just see a championship coming down to a battle like Landon S. Huffman and Jared Fryer had just a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Tri County is 45 minutes or an hour from the hub of the tour and everything. Right here close by. Everybody can drive home. No hotels required. That was kind of my idea with Tri County being the championship deal, but nonetheless, I don't think it's a bad idea. Just that was where I seen it. How do you feel about it? You like South Boston Championship? I mean, that feels probably pretty normal for you.
Yeah, I mean, I always love going back up there. That's where I started my career. It's where I kind of got my career going. Um, Big supporters of the racetrack, and obviously, there's not ever not been a Thunder Road Harley Davidson 200 since 2013.
Yep.
So, always love getting to go back up there.
Did y'all have one in the COVID year?
No. So you're right, minus that one.
Didn't want to call you out there, but I was just hoping you said, yeah, we had one
It was
anyway. I was
literally
hoping
at
you was
the
going to say we
racetrack
had one
and
anyway. I
it
was
was
going
told
to
it
say,
was-
hell yeah.
Yeah, it was literally at the racetrack testing when we found out like a couple days before and found out. Like I think we were there testing on Thursday and they canceled it.
Totally didn't mean to call you out there. I thought for sure y'all had it still.
No, yeah. The governor said
Yeah.
so.
Well, he's one of those governors.
But yeah, so I think you touched on it. Like we saw what happened this year. I mean, we had a caller about go over the inside wall. Things
cool.
get tight. Yeah, things get tight and hurry at Sobo on the front.
It was
and the
a
back.
shit show. See, that's my point. I forgot it was. I forgot.
But Tri County has been too.
Yeah, it has. I ain't saying it ain't gonna be a shit show. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I just thought that's what was gonna happen.
Error.
I really thought they'd run the championship at Tri County just based off of how the racing was there last time and based off of the. I mean, remember there was a little bit of backlash after South Boston, like, God damn, these guys wreck every fucking week. It's and not saying. I mean, I love South Boston's badass. Definitely needs to be on the schedule. I'm just saying, championship race wise, I don't know. You might be able to put on a little bit better show, Tri County, but that's just me being biased.
Think about it too, though. You're gonna have a race the week before.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That I will make the call right now. If we have as close of a points battle between whoever as we have had the last couple years, I mean Newport's tight. I mean a race it looks like it's going to be a badass place to race.
Brand new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
so something will happen there where it'll flip the script for the championship to, in my opinion, come into Sobo being closer than it is when we go into Newport.
Not that it's Cars Tour related, but Martinsville would be probably September 18th, right? The week after Tri County? Or is it usually the week before?
No, it would be 2 weeks. It'd be the week before Newport.
Really?
Yeah, because remember I said the same thing this year because we ran Martinsville and had to turn right back around and go to Tri County.
I was thinking that maybe they helped y'all out and it would be the week after Tri County.
No, I mean, I don't think Martinsville will move it just because that's kind of been when it's been. I mean, obviously, not to my knowledge, but they haven't announced it yet. But I would pretty much think it would be the same weekend. So it would be the weekend right before Newport.
Yeah. Which, I mean, shit. If you're trying to run Martinsville, Tri-County, Newport, and South Boston, you better have your shit together anyway and be able to turn it around if shit goes bad. You know, like, if you're just a one-car team with a dream, that might not be your best course of fucking action. I've been there. Hand up, accountability. Did that in 2023. There's some times where I was probably, you know what, Dylan, maybe just fucking call, just watch this one from the old couch. Save you a little money. Might run better next week. Should have maybe done that a couple of times, but here we are. So yeah, I would advise around that time of year people get pretty smart for sure. But yeah, that's the schedule, man. I do think it's a good one. Nothing on there that I'm just like pissed off about by any means. I mean, Wilkesboro going to one race is something notable, but I don't think anything like necessarily bad.
Right.
Like we said, you don't want to oversaturate it, and I think that presents an opportunity for maybe NASCAR to get involved and host a race there. We have left North Wilkesboro to NASCAR before, and they, you've seen what happened. So, I don't know. Hopefully they do right with it. Cars Tour's done a damn good job with it, and I hope, everybody else that's in charge can continue to do that. So, we'll see. I'd say my big highlights on the schedule is Wake County, obviously. My plan is to try to get something together to run that. I mean, anytime Wake County's on the schedule, I want to race it. So, finishing 10th there last year and having something to build off of, obviously, it's big for me. And then North Wilkesboro's July 17th race is something obviously pretty damn cool. But Nashville, man, Nashville and Newport, I think are two that I really have kind of circled to put stuff together to maybe do if I get that, if things work out. But just trying something new. I like the challenge of new places, and I feel like it maybe puts me on a little bit of a level playing field. I say that, but I don't necessarily have data acquisition and shit, so like it kind of, doesn't. There's levels to it for sure, but at the same time, I do feel like going and just sending it at Nashville or Newport, I'm on a little bit more of a level playing field than a guy that's been running, all year, and we're going to tracks that are similar, like Tri-County, South Boston, and stuff like that. So, I'd like to definitely try a wild card. Brandon, is there? I mean, you probably have similar thoughts, but what stands out to you on the schedule? Anything piss you off or anything like that?
No, I mean nothing. I mean, I'm smart enough to know that, like me and you talked about, we talked about this when we started talking about the schedule, that it is a touring series, but when you start getting 6, 7, 8+ hours away, you definitely, right now, at least in the current state of the purse structure, don't want to oversaturate that or do that more than once, probably. So I knew Core Deal and Nashville being on there probably was slim to none. I am a little bummed that that's not on there because, like I said, I was a big fan of Core Deal. Beautiful racetrack, cool area, raced awesome, facility was great. I mean, just, yeah. So, but the racer in me and the fan in me is really excited about Nashville. I, like you, have never been there. Obviously heard about it, watched plenty of races there, ARCA or All-American 400, stuff like that. It looks like a badass racetrack's fun on iRacing, but never been to it. Been to Nashville, never been to the racetrack. So now get to. So looking forward to that. And I mean, I think as far as a stock, I think the late model stock's going to put on a great race. I mean, obviously the pro late models, I mean, they already run there, and they put on good racing. So, from what I've heard, she's a little abrasive and it's got some bumps and character in her. So that one stands out. Obviously Newport. And then, like I already said, I'm big fans of Florence and Langley being on there. There's really nowhere on here that I'm like, shit. I mean, everybody knows my opinions on Wake and Ace. I mean, I don't mind racing either one of them. They just, if shit happens, it kind of happens in a hurry. Not that it doesn't at other tracks. There's just, I mean, they're the two smallest racetracks we go to. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I feel pretty much the same way. I definitely like the idea of, with a track like Nashville, being a larger track, the cool part is it kind of feels like old Wilkesboro or something, right? Going to race on that abrasive big track again, like that shit was fun as hell. So
I think what'll be cool is you see how banked the corners are, and then it comes out and flattens out. So like to
yeah,
feel that transition is gonna be pretty
right.
wild, but I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be different for us for sure. Probably require a little bit different, ride package. I'd imagine, based off of, there's not a lot of.
You definitely ain't gonna want to pile her off in there the first lap. You might regret it.
No, no. I would say it would honestly probably be a similar like New River package or a Coastal Plains package. The way everything kind of like levels and does weird stuff off the corner. So
goes off from
So yeah, I mean that would be a guys that are trying to run Nashville. Maybe they're doing something similar there. I don't know, but nonetheless, that's going to be a cool deal. Well, there's probably going to be a lot of Keen Sport guys maybe that travel from that area towards, to Nashville to race. You could see a lot. I mean, I just don't know how many cars. I just way too early to make any kind of prediction, but I think as popular as that racetrack is, they'll have a full field.
Yeah, you'll see it. I mean, I think you'll see, just like we saw with Cordele, you'll see super late model guys.
Yeah, like the
renting stock rides for Steven Nasse probably. You might see old Bubba Pollard try to get, you'll see plenty of guys that
that's cool.
have had success there in the straight rail cars, I think, try to get in the late model stock.
Yeah, I like the idea of going to new places and stuff like that for sure. So I think they hit the nail on the head for sure with the schedule. And, I don't really see anything necessarily wrong with the schedule. I did make my prediction was somewhat, not really. It was kind of close, not really. I didn't really have a good idea of where I thought that maybe we kind of knew what the dates were, but not the tracks. So like I thought, being that the season started so early, maybe we'd be going down for speed weeks or something like that, or maybe that's when we would go down to Cordele. But the only way we'd be going to Cordele is if we're not going to Nashville or something like that. And I did not think, I will say, when I first opened the schedule to see the new one, I didn't watch any reveal video. I just opened the schedule. And the schedule, for whatever reason, I don't know if I'm dyslexic or what, I read it from last to first. And I seen for some reason, I just wanted to know what the championship race was. I didn't see if it was Wilkesboro. I guess that's why. And then I seen damn Newport. I'm like, well, shit, I guess there's no Nashville. For what? And that don't really make sense that one would necessarily replace it. But then I seen, like, it literally took me, I looked through the whole schedule and breezed over Nashville the first time. I'm like, damn, no Nashville or Cordele. And then I looked, I'm like, oh shit, we are going to Nashville. That's crazy. So yeah, definitely cool, exciting. I think a little bit, we're doing the tour is doing so much cool stuff that it's not really surprising when they do a big move like this now. You know what I mean? And so
I think for it, they got to do one.
Yeah.
A year, and I think
it's cool. I think that's
that's enough to keep it as a short track series.
Yep, you start venturing into 2, 3, 4 of those, and it's too much, I think. But
yeah, I mean, you're start losing teams.
And 6 hours from Hickory, 6 hours from Hickory. So
yeah, it's going to take me longer.
It's that's obviously it's a bit of a haul. 7 hours or 8 plus whatever for some guys, but like it's I think people aren't going to complain a whole lot about going to Nashville. Some may complain a little about going to Cordele. Like, damn, what the hell are you going to do in Cordele? Everybody knows what they're going to do in Nashville.
Sorry, you're right. For my house, it'll take 6.5 hours to get to the fairgrounds.
Yeah, not bad. There's a soccer stadium right next door to it. I don't know who plays there. I guess the Nashville. What's their team? Oh, yeah.
I'm saying that's what it's. Yeah, it's Nashville Football Club.
Oh,
but it's an MLS team. Like it's a professional soccer team.
Yeah. Well, won't catch me going to that, but I will absolutely be at the fairgrounds. I don't know if I'll be driving or videoing or what, but I'll definitely be going. That's for them sure. Seems like a good time. I think if I don't go drive, actually, I probably won't go because that sounds like a lot of fun to go drive. Worn out big track seems like my cup of tea. For sure, at least at my elden age. Well, man, I would say that we can sit here and talk this schedule all night, but god dang, we don't have to wrap it up at some point and save a little shit for discretion or not discretion, for speculation over the next few months of how these races are going to go and make our predictions as we go. But I guess before we get wrapped up, I mean, do you have your, what's your plans? You got any plans going on yet, or just still figuring everything out?
TBA.
TBA.
So
Same with
I
me.
will be racing. But yeah, we'll be. I'm sure by the time me and Dylan do a episode here in the next couple weeks, like I said, I am going to run the South Carolina 400. I think there might be a chance. I'm not trying to spoil his news, but Dylan may not run the Fall Brawl, or hell, he could show up at Florence. Who knows?
Yeah, Fall Brawl, good chance. Florence, small chance. But
as we've told all y'all, it is deer season now. Deer season is in effect. It's off to a slow start. Wind and rain and weather's not being our best friend, but
yeah, I debated going this evening. But yeah. It is November, folks, and when it comes November, that's when you lose Dylan on Friday to Sunday. You just lose.
That's November. You lose you earlier than that.
Yep. And this time of year, when it comes down to the last weeks of October and the first weeks of November, you lose me from Wednesday to Sunday. That's just part of it. So I'm going to go radio silent tomorrow and won't see y'all again until maybe Tuesday. But yeah, that's just part of it, man. It's the damn rut. It's coming up. I get excited. I'd go bow hunt one time every year. I go bow hunting. I see a deer. And I'm like, God dang it. I don't know why I do anything else in life but hunt. It's the only thing that's fun. The only thing that gets my damn adrenaline going is seeing you can see a 6-point deer that at this point my wife wouldn't even shoot. And I'm sitting there getting the nervous shakes just looking at it with a bow, just how close you get. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of weird hunting primal fucking bloodline. I don't know. I love it. So that's kind of why I disappear for this period of time. And yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, like Brandon said, hopefully a fall brawl coming up if this motor isn't a fucking cooked piece of shit. That's the goal. That if it's good, we'll be racing or something. I'll keep everybody updated.
Is that like November 8th, November 7th, 8th?
Yep, November 8th, I believe. I think. Let me double check. Yep, November 8th. 200 lapper at Hickory.
As far as for me, just got some deer hunting coming up. World Finals is at Charlotte here in the next week or two.
Are you running it?
Go. Hell no.
Well, fuck, I don't know. You didn't even talk about your Miata race. Finished another top 10 in the Miatas.
Yep, we survived
again, course ringer, so. Brandon Pierce.
Yep, so I was really happy to go up there with McCumbee McAleer racing again. Always fun to go race with those guys. Chad's assembled one hell of a group over there. That's a totally different world, but
they put on
just
a
lot of
show too.
Yeah, man. I mean, the margin of victory. Teammate Jeremy Fletcher won by .003. I mean, it was about the thickness of the
door banging for nights coming across the line, damn racing like that. I mean, it looked fun as shit.
Yeah, so those cars are a patch of hell. I mean, they're so much fun to drive and just on edge, short wheelbase, a lot of fun. So I will always. What's that?
Shifting every lap. That's new. Weird.
Yeah, shifting every lap. So I will always, till I hang it up, take every opportunity I can to drive a Mazda MX-5. I'm telling you, if you ever have the opportunity, anybody listening, Dylan himself, I've told him this. I didn't know what to expect when I drove them. I obviously have always watched MX-5 races. They are extremely intense. But driving them, I'm telling you, is some of the most fun just because there's so much going on. But they have just enough horsepower that as long as you don't really screw up, I mean, you can gather it up. It's still like oh shit moment.
Oh yeah.
And get your attention, but they're just a ton of fun to drive. So hopefully get the opportunity to do it next year if they come back to Martinsville. I'm never opposed to taking right and never opposed to taking right and left turns either. But I got some gains to make before I go race with those guys because they're damn good.
Yeah, I definitely get my absolute ass kicked if I try to do any kind of road course racing. However, if they ever
What about
take
you? What about you for next year? So just to fill in our viewers and listeners, just obviously going to run a couple, but nothing real set in stone right
somewhere
now.
between 0 and 16, like that's kind of where that's where I'm at. I don't know. It's just it's all dependent on what happens during the off season. But I mean, I don't. I'm no longer I'm not just basing my whole year off just racing Wilkesboro. I'm racing to race, and uh, I think the past few years, I kind of had to structure my season based off of what I could do to be able to run the Wilkesboro races. And now it's just like, all right, well, we've ran the let's run. How about we go run some competitive races and have some fun, and not completely destroy my will to race by going and running like shit, and go run some local races or something like that. So I don't know. Something along the lines of having fun is my goal to start off the year, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. Like I could see myself definitely running 3 to 5, tour races. It'd be cool as shit to go run more if things are going well, and the funds work out, get the backing that I would require. But I think my Blaine's gonna run a lot, so I'll be helping him a lot. So I'm obviously not planning on running full time, but I do. Nashville, Wake County, Newport is highlighted big time for me. Well, and Wilkesboro, obviously. Wilkesboro goes without saying, but those are kind of the four that I am gonna see what I can come up with. I would say Nashville definitely more important to me than Newport, if that's what it comes down to. But luckily that's before Newport, so I can make that decision when it gets here, and I'll probably end up running it either way. Also, it's during college football season, so I'll probably go up there and go catch a Tennessee game, and then go to the Newport race. Right, isn't it in October?
For third, yeah.
Yep. We might be catching a game, so it might work out real good. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have no set plans, but probably 3 to 5, something like that. Go have some fun with it. And quit. Which hell, last year I ran, or this year I ran 3. Year before that I ran 2. Year before that I ran 15. So, it's been a little bit sporadic, but I mean that also comes with the part of having a kid. That definitely slowed the racing side of things down. But now that things are a little bit more normal, and he's like enjoying them being at the racetrack and all that good stuff, it makes things a little bit easier on us. Like we actually noticed at Wilkesboro, like it was way easier to babysit him as I'm racing and entertain him and stuff. Like he's able to hang out with the guys a little more than he was at first. First time at Wilkesboro, basically he just wanted to hang on mama's titty the whole time, but now he'll go play with race cars and follow people around and shit. So it's a little bit more fun, and and that's as real as it gets. I don't know how else to put it. It's really hard to focus on racing when you're kind of doing a lot of other things at once. And now that things are getting easier, it's definitely more fun to go schedule some stuff. So yeah, obviously the Tennessee races are big from high on my list. No ties to either the tracks or the state itself. I just like the football team, and that's really my only ties to it. I've always, I live 45 minutes from the border of Tennessee, so I'm not too far from it. But at the end of the day, still got to travel to old Nashville. Newport, probably 2.5, 3 hours away, though, so that's why Newport's obviously another one circled for me. But I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm excited. I do love the schedule. I love the I wouldn't say think it's the absolutely perfect. And there's a couple of things I could see switching around or whatever, but hell, everybody's got their tracks that they don't like and stuff like that. So that's part of it. I wouldn't say that I would put Ace or Dominion on the top of my list to go race at, but at the end of the day, they definitely serve their purpose, for sure. Dominion puts on badass races every year. I just hate racing there, for sure. So only done it once, and that's probably the only time. Unless I go 4-banger racing or something. That'd be a hell of a trip.
Yeah.
Or not 4-banger racing. I want to go on a road course.
Oh, Jesus.
And run those bitches. That's where I'd get my road course started at, the Dominion Road Course. During the Cars 4 week, I'm going to go up there and run the Dominion Road Course. Y'all can all pull for me. I'll go fence it. Shake some pine trees one good time. Yep. Well, boys and gals, I think that pretty much does it for our 2025 season wrap-up episode. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming out. You know, Brandon's got stuff to figure out and stuff for next year. So do I. We got races coming up. He's still got a race left. The 400 Myrtle Beach or the South Carolina 400, and then I got the Fall Brawl coming up. As long as everything works out good, which it looks pretty good right now. So we'll keep everybody updated. Don't know if there's necessarily a reason to have an episode before all that, but maybe we'll catch everybody up once all that's done and we have some more information. And then obviously, anytime anything new and groovy comes out about the tour and any silly season stuff, you know, that stuff is definitely starting to ramp up. So the ears are open. If you guys hear of anything, let us know if we missed it. We look at the comments, we look at the reviews and all that good stuff. So be sure to send in a YouTube comment if you made it this far. If you're listening on the audio, give us a review, 5 stars. Tell us, tell everybody it made your life a lot better because it sends us up the rankings. Also, on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Send it to your old lady. Give her something good to look at. Whatever you want to do. But besides that, I think that covers it for us. We enjoyed y'all listening to it. It's been a little bit of a long one, but needed to cover all that. And we will be hearing from you guys, or you'll be hearing from us hopefully in a few weeks. Maybe we'll have a pair of trophies sitting here, or at least a damn good hangover and story to talk about. So, and we'll keep you all updated. Love you, mean it. We'll see you in a few weeks.